How's camp going for you so far?
It's going well. We're learning a new formation, and we're all excited for the new year. And obviously we felt like it was a tough last game. It was bitter for us, so we got to get our things going this year and get this formation right.
You mentioned the formation, you mentioned the tactics. How's the midfield group, your group in particular, coming together so far with all that stuff?
We have a mixture of veteran guys and young guys as well, and I think we have depth in the midfield, and I think Ziggy has confidence in us, so it definitely translates to us and makes us feel better and play better. So we're excited for the new year, and obviously we want to learn from those guys as much as possible.
Every group's a little bit different season over season. What's this group like to come together so far in terms of just locker room cohesion and on the field and everything else?
Yeah, we're cohesive. I think we have a little bit more chemistry this year for some reason. Maybe because the new guys have 6 months more under their belt, are the new signings, and we have just a little bit more chemistry this year. And obviously we are changing our formation a little bit, and I think everybody's stepping in and playing their roles the right way.
You mentioned having a few more months of experience under your belt. For you, looking back to this time a year ago, quite a lot's happened, obviously. Really productive rookie campaign. When you look back on then to now, what do you think back on, and what have you learned over the first year?
Yeah, I remember last year, it was a little bit of a difficult time for me. I had to adjust to the game, and now, I'm on the opposite side where I'm doing well and I'm ready. I feel like I've come into preseason on a good note, and I'm excited. But obviously, there are veteran guys on the team still, so I still feel like a rookie.
Have you been able to offer some of that perspective up to some of the new rookies, some of the new draft picks for this year?
Yeah, for sure. I'm a roommate with one of those guys, and he asked me a bunch of questions, and I'm happy to answer them, because I remember when I was in his shoes, I did the same thing and asked the older guys what I could do better, and obviously how things were.
For those that don't know, who's your roommate?
Tony Alfaro.
Yeah. Okay, very cool. And so far, your rapport with him, I imagine, is coming along pretty well.
Yeah. I remember. I visited that school when he was playing, so it's cool to see that he's now with us. And I once saw him play in college and when I was in high school, so it's cool to see.
It all comes full circle. And speaking of full circle, Cascadia games coming up already. The first one of which Wednesday friendly against Vancouver, the first of preseason. Just thoughts on facing a familiar foe, a team that even in your first year you got quite a few looks at.
Yeah, we played Vancouver about 5 times, I think, this past year, and we're pretty familiar with them. We know how they play. We know they have pretty quick guys in the attacking half, and guys that are going to work hard. And obviously, seeing a team this early, this familiar with us, is good for us, because we're trying things out, and I'm sure they are too.